Anyways, oh my God, I've probably said a lot of stupid things on here, but this one's gonna be my dumbest. But I had inspiration to make the video, and I I'm just the messenger, right? Um, totally just the messenger. But because I don't want to be saying the following. But anyways, I guess it was one of the things that inspired it was talking about Mike Menser, right? And I was admiring this guy. Like, I think he was, stupid at the end of the day. Um, but he had heart, and what he was trying to do is he was trying to get other men to live better lives. And it was just any man, black man, white man, just all men. He was trying to get men to live better lives, and he was like trying to be this messiah and be this hero. And not in any bad way. But I think when he was like fucking hooked on meth and cigarettes, I think maybe he was more at peace because he had given up this, self-destructive dream. And maybe he still struggled with it. I don't know his whole life. Maybe it was a struggle between this peace and maybe the hero came back every now and then, right? I'll do it again. I'll try to fight the establishment again. But I mean, it's like you could see this guy's sincerity. Like he was like sincere and authentic, right? Um, but um, anyways, so like just now though, I was inspired to talk about someone else I admire, and but that's the problem. The person that I admire, I shouldn't be talking about. But anyways, one of the men that I admire is Malcolm X. First of all, one of the things I admire about him is he was a word master, right? In our day, we could look at some word masters. There's a lot of them. One of them, though, is would be Dana White of the UFC. Like that man's not a fight promoter. He's a word master, right? He creates reality with his words, right? But and so and I like word masters, and Malcolm X was a word master. He was, and that's one of the things I admire about him. Another thing, during his because he had two phases, right? And during his first phase, it was very violent, and that's where I don't admire him about. But the passion of that violence, I do admire because, my dad's grandmother was full Apache, and he's got a lot of her traits. And yeah, no, and I think I'm my father's son, but I did the passion of it, but the implications I didn't, right? Because then you go to his second phase, right? He goes to Mecca. And just like Mike Mentzer, like I don't know Malcolm X's whole story. Like I would want to learn his story. The problem is that most of the shit out there is probably going to be propaganda. So this was this if I ever wanted to like get into his story, I'd have to try to sift through all the bullshit. Um, but from what I hear is that he went to Mecca, and after coming back from Mecca, he changed his tune, and he was like, Allah is of love. Um, and if that's true, then that's admirable. But he was going up against his former self, right? And I would assume that maybe he went to Mecca, and one of the things he saw was all these different languages and tribes peacefully worshiping Allah, and what he saw was that, hey, no, instead of fighting and killing, we should be preaching Allah as love, and we should be converting. There should be more tribes following Allah. It shouldn't be this conquest and violence. And once that happened, they killed him. And that's why I shouldn't talk about this, because there's a conspiracy of violence out there, right? I mean, they shined a camera on Malcolm X. Or not Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, that's right. And, but then he starts talking against the defense establishment, right? And it's like, boom. And men who generally preach love, but that's admirable, and I think I think if all this is true, then I think that would make Malcolm X a martyr of love. Totally. And that's pretty cool. These are two American saints, I think. So yeah, no, I don't know. I mean, from what I hear, he's very admirable.